is happening as well. And, you know, speaking of deck building, this is one that Xixo gave me about a week ago to try out on ladder, and it's this rogue deck. If it's the exact same build, it's actually got 2 copies of Sprint in this deck. He's looking to Preparation Sprint, and like you scale into big threats, Dr. Boom, Ragnaros, that sort of thing, and look to apply a lot of pressure. So all this stuff you see right here, meant to scale into the late game. And this Hunter deck, I don't really know what Backspace has been cooking up. He's been trying a lot of stuff. It looks like he's still on the mindset that Bomb Lobber is just one of the best cards in GVG because of the amount of tempo pressure that it provides. You know, that's the kind of playstyle I think he's going to favor more often, is just getting the tempo rolling and going from there. But a pretty good start here from Xixo. This is going to be a lot of stuff to have to fight through, because this is a matchup where I don't think Bomb Lobber is too fantastic.
Yeah, could get some value already, though, like, you know, taking out that Earthring Farseer. So we'll see. I mean, we'll see if that's actually going to come into play at all, but... Yeah, I mean, I honestly have no idea what all is in this rogue deck. I haven't seen this, so will be interesting.
Yeah,
I mean, is there a lot of like mid game kind of minions? Is it kind of like more like, or is it really more like completely late game?
Yeah, when I was given this deck, it had 2 copies of Sprint, 2 copies of Azure Drake, and 2 copies of Earth and Ring Farseer, and 2 copies of Violet Teacher. So it's got ways to get into the mid game and then apply a lot of pressure from there, and then look to finish it again with some big game threats. We saw him mulligan Ragnaros from his opening hand, but it's got big game Hunter in here too. I mean, you know, one of the matchups I think that this is going to struggle with a lot is something like Handlock. So when you're having to use all of your spells pretty inefficiently to clear out stuff, you're going to want some help along the way. Big game Hunter is one of those cards.
Certainly. Well, it's looking
you can
like
see what trap that he got. It looks like he probably got either explosive or snake trap. From this mad scientist. So if we can catch a glimpse,
sure, it's not swipe, Nathan.
Sure, it's not. It's not swipe.
There's snipe.
It's not, I was like, well, it's definitely not. You just have the swipe hit. It's like when your opponent gets a 1 health and a 4 health minion, it activates and it kills them both.
Snipe, not swipe.
Yeah, it's almost certainly not snipe.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty tough. I think it wasn't freezing trap, because we would have seen freezing trap highlighted in Backspace's hand if he was able to play it. And that wasn't the case. Kobold Geomancer gets drawn for Xixo. What on earth is going on right now?
I have no idea.
Okay, this is something I did not see from this deck list. I have no idea why this isn't a Blood Mage. There has to be a Blood Mage in this list as well.
Yeah,
there's no way that this is a 2/2 instead of a Blood Mage. There's just no way.
Yeah, that would be pretty bizarre.
Maybe Xixo just doesn't have all the cards on EU. The
server Bomb Lobber value.
Yep, I talked about how it probably wasn't going to be fetched too much this game, but I don't see a play. I don't know. Maybe he is just going to like let it trigger to the explosive trap.
Well, wait.
Which I assume it's explosive trap.
It is a freezing trap, man, because you can't actually play it. Look, it's not highlighted, right?
Oh my gosh!
Yeah. It is freezing trap.
It's third brain fart today. It is freezing trap.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, it's completely freezing trap.
Holy crap!
Wow, I'm shocked if this isn't Bomb Lobber, because then that would be really weird to me if he doesn't Bomb Lobber here. Don't you think that's a really strange choice? I think it has to be Bomb Lob. Yeah, okay, thank you. That would have been really weird, because you don't want to use your weapon charge before your trap triggers.
I 100%.
All right, so going forward, yeah, you do see the Dr. Boom coming out there, and he's going to be a deadly poison to clear things up, and could just be, SI. If he does feel like he just wants to continue forcing that pressure. And I think, especially knowing the trap is there, you're going to want something to trigger that. So I think getting that down on the board is pretty reasonable.
Yeah, he doesn't want to trigger the freezing on an SI7 agent too. That's why he's choosing to use the bow here. So freezing trap's going to be left to help protect the Savannah Highmane. Sludge Belcher gets picked up. This is another card that it was in this list that I had kind of forgotten to mention.
Yep, so it is freezing trap, of course, and Backstab going to come out. See what he is going to be able to pick up. But Backstab, and he's just going to pay the price, man. Wow. He's going to put himself down to 16 HP. I have to be a little bit nervous about that, though. I mean, Kill Command is there. That's 5 damage. Hero Power is an additional 2. That's already putting him to 9 HP. You can start juggling. I mean, you have an additional damage from your Leper Gnome as well. I mean, this is putting yourself in kind of a scary position.
Yeah, I'd be really surprised if Kill Command didn't come out before this Web Spinner did. So this one of these 2/2 should run into this 1/2. and then he should play both of his guys. I don't think he should be trying to juggle here. Juggling both on that is a pretty low % chance, so it's worth
Do you think
way more.
Do you think he needs to play the minions though? Like he could just hero power as well. I mean, it's like, I mean, I definitely see the value of it, but at the same time, it can be a little bit scary, and if they all just everything gets AoE'd down with a blade flare or something like that.
It's a good point you make. We've already seen a deadly poison, so blade flurry I don't think is too much on his mind. You're gonna get a beast off the web spinner, so that's not exactly like the worst case scenario. You're gonna get 2
Gotta be
points
worried about that kobold fan of knives though.
That's the thing, is he's seen Kobold Geomancer, and when you see Kobold Geomancer, you have to be thinking your opponent's also running a Blood Mage. So something like Blood Mage Fan of Knives, definitely in the forefront of your mind. I think at some point he's just going to go for it here, and I would tend to favor this spot. Any position where you're kind of putting your opponent in the spot where it's like, okay, well you have to have it here, the kind of position you want to be in. But Preparation Fan of Knives to this Violet Teacher that he just picked up, gonna give him a token, gonna give him a card draw. Second Fan of Knives would be an extremely good draw. It's gonna be a deadly poison. So, still got to do some work on this board, but he's down to 10 at this point. Backspace doesn't have a ton of action going on. But, this is 5 more damage that's coming across the board. He's dead to something like Kill Commander, Eaglehorn Bow. Gets an Undertaker. That's pretty ill-timed at the moment, but he's going to try to go for some juggles, hope for the best, and Hero Power is putting a really big clock on his opponent right now. I don't know if Xixo's got something like Antique Healbot in here, but he's going to need to draw something really soon, especially if one of these juggles goes straight for the base.
Wow. Let's see.
That was a 20% chance to hit on each one of those juggles. Xixo going to trigger this trap right away, and I mean, this has been the bad news. He has no way to heal out of this board position. Game 1 is going to go over to Backspace, just on the back of that Savannah High main, putting so much pressure onto the board. Backstab his own Boombot. Goes straight for the face. It was 4 damage, but just not enough in the end. And wow, Hunter really getting the job done here. Savannah High main. This card is just scale instead of using them to actually pressure his opponent for the finish. So, card like Savannah High main, extremely scary, I think, for that rogue deck to see. So just kind of, an unfortunate position for both these guys to be in. Or, I'm sorry, for Xixo to be in. Heading into game 1, you'd really end up playing against Hunter on game 1, approximately 33% of the time, unless you just know how your opponent's going to lead.
Yeah, certainly. Looks like some pretty darn good starts from both sides, honestly, though. But yeah, I mean, of course, Sap is a really nice option and stuff. But I just mean, as far as like actually, if you have to kill it, it's definitely really tough to deal with for rogues.
It's definitely a tall order for rogue.
Yeah.
It's the same thing like Mountain Giant or Twilight Drake. It's just too much.
Yeah, certainly. All right, so we're just getting the Mad Scientist coming down, and I mean, Shielded Minibot so strong in this situation. Oh wow, with the zombie chow, does he actually? No, okay, never mind. I was thinking if he was on 3 mana, it would have been hilarious if he could have got the juggle.
Mad Scientist, attack the Mad Scientist,
and then juggle the leper.
Just straight away. Just why not? Why notting things is a really good way to win games.
For sure, man. And we should mention the bans here was Xixo did ban Paladin and Backspace did ban the Warlock. So Xixo is going to have Paladin, Warrior, and Rogue available, while Backspace is going to have Warrior, Hunter, and Warlock available.
Mad Scientist is going to run in here. This is actually a really heads-up play from Xixo to attack the Leper Gnome here instead of the Mad Scientist, because he wants to give his opponent an extra opportunity to draw the trap that's in his deck. He doesn't want it to be just fetched straight away from Mad Scientist. He wants to give his opponent the maximum chance to actually draw one. So, a really minor thing, but something important to keep in mind. It was Freezing Trap again. We haven't seen a trap other than Freezing Trap, so 2 Freezing Traps actually might be the only ones that are in here. And judging by how we've seen Bob Lomber, we've now seen Dr. Boom, we're seeing Deadly Shot now, and we're seeing Savannah Highman. I gotta believe this is just 2 copies of Freezing Trap in this deck.
Yeah, it certainly seems like it. And honestly, Freezing Trap is pretty trash against Paladin in general. Like, I mean, if the Paladin's able to have a board like this and you're freezing trapping, 1/1 token, it's pretty brutal.
Yep. I really like Defender of Argus here.
Yeah, so do I. That's what I was gonna say.
But Defender of Argus, at the same time, you've worried about something like Explosive Trap. Just because we're seeing Backspace's hand develop right now, so we're getting a much more clear image of what's in his deck than Xixo's getting. Xixo doesn't know.
And we still could be wrong.
Right, yeah, we could still be wrong. We see Dr. Boom is in here. We see Deadly Shot is in here. If Xixo knew this sort of stuff, I think this Defender of Argus would be really simple for him because he would kind of draw the same conclusion. This is going to be Freezing Trap very, very often. But, again, he just doesn't have that liberty. He's just going to develop True Silver Champion. I mean,
I guess he wants to follow up with a green skin, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, green skin's certainly going to influence that a lot, but he's just going to go for face. That green skin is going to give him what he believes is enough damage to actually start the race with Hunter, despite being on 18 life. A Noyatron gets drawn. What is going on?
It's actually a really nice draw here. It's going to be really, really annoying for him to get through. And, I mean, going to be able to hero power again, putting him down to 16 HP already. And, I mean, the next 2 turns are going to be some big threats. And also, I mean, if Silence comes out here, that's really going to open up for the Savannah Highmane.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine he's going to follow through with green skin here.
So do I, but it's hard to know because at the same time, it's like, yeah, okay, so it is going to be.
Oh, if he freezing traps the green skin, that's another charge on True Silver Champion.
Yeah.
I have yet to see a 6-3 True Silver Champion. That's what I want to see this game.
Yeah, if he replays it, that would be pretty insane. But Highmane gonna come down, and I mean, this is kind of rough, man. I feel like Paladin's in a pretty bad spot. He can't obviously silence us up. He has some ability to. I kind of think it could be Silence. Do you think he pays a life? I think he kind of has to.
I think he's gonna end up getting the bad news that he has to.
Yeah.
But certainly wants to trigger this trap first. Again, getting the bad news that it is the second freezing trap. So 5 less damage he gets, and a 7-mana green skin is not nearly as good as a 5-mana one. Juggler first, he wants to get this extra point of damage if he can. Misses the extra point, but he'll get one out of his hero power as well. So down to 13, but he's got a True Silver Champion out, and he's got a pretty good amount of board pressure here. Dr. Boom is gonna, again, it's gonna apply a lot of board pressure going in here because Xixo's down to just 13 HP.
Yeah, I certainly think you just dropped Dr. Boom here. I don't think there should be too much thought about it, and it looks like it will be the Dr. Boom. I mean, it's just even the bombs alone, it makes it scary to juggle because you could juggle into a bomb and kill your own knife juggler. Like that alone is pretty annoying. And I mean, you could start to draw here, but at the same time, what are you looking to draw into? These are some of the things you have to think about. But
I think Big Game Hunter Inequality is what he wants to draw into right now.
Yeah.
The bombs are still like really scary though. If he plays his Cult Master and then runs in a token, the bomb could just kill his Cult Master straight away. All right, he's actually going to go for Defender of Argus though. So silencing a bomb. Yeah, I mean this has just got to be board. This has got to be face pressure at this point. He's already initiated the race, and so he's going to follow through with that. This True Silver Champion is, I mean, it's certainly got to get held at this point.
He's thinking about trading this. I mean, he was looking like he wanted to trade in a token. If he trades in a token, I don't know, man. Yeah, okay. That's
I like trading in the token into the silenced.
Yeah. He was making me nervous because he had it aimed at the Dr. Boom. I was like, oh my god, are you really gonna pay 7 life against Hunter? Like, you okay?
We're gonna delay shot first, so the jackpot one, and gets the worst minion on his opponent's side of the board. So this is a lot of pressure on Backspace now. He's going to take out this Knife Juggler with this Eaglehorn Bow and then hope that this Dr. Boom token can take out this Iron Begal. He wants this 7 damage on face. This is an important boom. He's not going to do it. Wow, he's going to favor just taking it out straight away. So Dr. Boom chipped down to a 7-3, still outside of the range of this Defender of Argus, though.
How do you feel about... I mean, you're gonna have to be worried about like consecrate and stuff. So I guess playing Knife Juggler, just putting Knife Juggler down is kind of ballsy. But I don't know. It's tough. It's tough to. It's hard to know. All these 3 plays are pretty legitimate. I think he might just Haunted Creeper.
I'm like really surprised that he kept the
Doctor. Go for it.
Yeah, I mean, this is like a 33% chance to deal 7 damage.
Yeah.
Chris Jones gonna pick up 3 extra points of damage from his opponent's side of the board, and now again the decision though, still on Xixo here. Like, does he pay this life to kill Dr. Boom? I mean, this is still a really big threat to his health at the moment. If this Boom token rolls perfectly, Dr. Boom's just gonna kill him.
Yeah, I kind of feel like, as rough it is, I kind of feel like he has to, because the thing is, it's like, you know, it's a tough decision, man. But if you don't kill that off, you're guaranteed to take the 7 damage next turn. Plus, you don't even know what else is in this deck. I mean, if you're taking the potential for the 7 damage plus even more, like if it got its
Yep.
taunt came up in front of
Right.
it, you have to.
Oh, and the boom
Oh,
was just enough. Wow, a 25% chance, and then the Dr. Boom token had to roll at least a 3 for it to be game this turn. Wow, that last turn, there was a lot of different ways he could have played that. I think he could have gone straight for face with the Defender of Argus tournament. Play is kind of the result of just he's been getting some really poor RNG in these tournament scenarios. But this is part of competitive Hearthstone is you have to persevere through these moments, and you can't let it affect your emotions and your decision making. Which if you watch Xixo's games, it doesn't. Even despite the fact that he's been kind of on the short end of the stick of all of these, he just continues to play a solid game, plays what he believes is going to yield the best win rates, and I think his latter performance is really reflecting on just how strong of a player he is, and just really unfortunate his tournament results have not followed through yet.
yeah. Do you think that nerves and stuff is something that perhaps is coming into play? Like, do you think he's taking the same risks in tournament play that he would take in ladder and things like that? Because that's something that really can make a big difference for a lot of players. I mean, it's not uncommon at all for there's players in every game that are just amazing on ladder and who just do not ever win in tournaments.
Yeah, I don't think it is, and this is just a really big example of the fact that he has been, I really hate to say that it's the RNG that's getting him, but it's got to happen to someone eventually, and I think he's just the example of the player because just reflecting on the Doctor Boom token, it's a risk he had to take. He could have left the Boom token alive, and then there's almost no chance that he dies to just the Boom token going straight for his face. But
Yeah.
that's one. I think it's one he was supposed to take in that position.
Yeah.
Just unfortunate.
And at the same time, even if the boom token hit a minion, there's still a lot of ways he could have died
Sure.
regardless. I mean, we could have seen a huff, or we could have seen a lot of different stuff. So,
Second Eagle Horn bow draw and just kill command. I mean, he's dead to a lot of stuff still, but
well, I don't think he had
maximize
it.
potential.
He did still have a second Eagle Horn bow, yeah.
No,
Oh,
he didn't have an answer immediately, but again, just the draw density is really there.
Leok is actually quite nice there.
Yeah, this is like the perfect role in this position. And, gets an extra couple points of damage out here. Despite going to check it though. I mean, really strong card versus Animal Companion, that's for sure.
Yeah, it certainly answers all three.
But two Savannah Highmanes already in Backspace's hand. And this is going to be a Noyatron for sure. And he's going to get the bad news that there is a Despite in his opponent's hand, but enough damage is coming out here. He's gonna follow this with Lotheb, and then he's gonna follow that with two Savannah Highmanes.
Yeah, the Whirlwind plus the Death Rattle. This is pretty brutal, man. Actually, he's gonna get triple draw guaranteed.
Yep, the board's gonna get cleared. So again, I'm sticking to my read on this. This is 2 copies of Freezing Trap and Freezing Trap only. Sludge Belcher certainly an important one at this stage of the game because he's gonna need something to help fight through all the pressure. So. We'd like to get a glimpse of that trap, make sure it is freezing.
Unfortunately for him, though, I mean, it is gonna be frozen up very likely. So yeah, I mean, he's freezing up a 1/1 acolyte. Not really what you want, but still, is reasonable. It doesn't really have an amazing play here. I mean, at 19 HP, he's gonna go for the Sylvanas anyway, and I think that is a good choice for sure. But you do have to be a bit scared because I mean. It's just going to be traded in. Highmane's going to come down, and
Dr. Boom gets picked up too. Look at how much pressure is coming out of this Hunter deck. Xixo, he's got ways to stave off this pressure for a little bit, but his hand is so heavy at this point. The Shield Slam is, I mean, right now that's basically a dead card. He's going to be forced to execute this.
Yeah, and I mean, this is what we were talking about before. It's kind of rough. It's like, sure, yeah, he's using Taskmaster, execute. Now he's having an armor up, shield slam, and there's still a 2/2 on the board from using all of that. It's really tough to deal with that card.
So now it's second Savannah Highmane, Dr. Boom, and do you trade this token into this 2/2 to potentially prevent something like another execute? or maybe even an easier shield slam from your opponent. I like Dr. Boom here for sure. This is going to give him extra 2 damage next turn when he develops Savannah Highmane. He's going to get to use Hero Power along with it, or develop Haunted Creeper.
I mean, I think you go face, because the thing is, shield block, shield slam would then kill your Dr. Boom for free, and it's like, I think there's, I don't know. I mean, you want to shred armor regardless.
Are you worried about execute at all?
Yeah, I mean, you have to be worried about execute, but just as much you're worried about shield slam. One copy of both has been played, right? If he has, a shield maiden or a shield block plus a shield slam.
Oh my gosh! He's going to take so much damage here. I think he's got to go with the Sludge Belcher though.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's too rough, because if you play Geddon, you're gonna take all the damage from Dr. Boom, and you'll be similar.
He's gonna roll the dice with Ragnaros instead.
It's a 1 in 4. A 1 in 4 here. Is he gonna get it? He needs. Oh my
gosh! I cannot believe it. Xixo finally got some good RNG, but again, he's still under so much pressure. Ragnaros very unlikely to get 2 perfect rolls here, but he's got Baron Geddon to follow this, but the Baron Geddon's going to trigger after the Ragnaros triggers. Whirlwind gets picked up so he can increase his chances there, but these boom tokens might just kill the Ragnaros outright.
Yeah, it's something possible. But man, that was more than a little bit ago. that was insane, man. 25% chance there. I feel like if he doesn't roll that, he loses like 100% almost. I mean,
his alternatives aren't very strong either, though.
No, I think it was fine. Yeah.
If you play Sludge Belcher, both of them going to go face, and he gets damage on the face. Xixo on the back foot. He's at 12 HP after the armor. This Ragnaros hit is going to need to take out this Savannah Highmane, I think. Not the Haunted Creeper.
And there is a kill command available. Let's see what the draw is. Unleash the Hounds. Is that enough? I mean, how much damage can he actually do here? Does he actually want to unleash? I wonder. I mean, this is tough. It's gonna be kill command.
This is the no-brainer one.
Yeah.
How do you follow this up? Do you unleash? He is going to leash the Hounds too.
I like this because if you're trading in your 1/1 tokens, you want one more 1/1 tokens to protect your Savannah, right? So I mean, I think that this is smart. It's giving a much lower chance, and I think you play the Haunted Creeper too instead, because if you keep that Savannah Highmane alive one more turn, you win. And this is making it such a low chance for the Ragnaros to be able to actually take that out. Yep. So
Law
I think this is a really smart play.
Law of Highmane is technically in effect. He's going to be forced to Alexstrasza himself. Backspace has no cards in hand. This Ragnaros
1 in 5 chance.
Really important. I think that face is not that bad of an option right now, because he's got 10 points of damage to follow it up with his Alexstrasza. Maybe he can just win on the back of Ragnaros shots continuously hitting his opponent's face. And now Backspace, he's got to make a decision. Does he want to kill any of these minions, or does he just want to go for face pressure? He's going to go straight to the dome. Face. Oh my gosh. I can't believe that Xixo actually hasn't even has a chance to win this game right now.
Oh, this is a crazy one, man. A lot's going to come down to this next draw. Let's find out what's he going to pick up. Sludge Belcher, definitely helpful here. Going to be tough. I mean, you could take out...
I think you got to start going for face pressure here. I think.
Yeah.
I think Sludge Belcher's coming down for sure. I think you're going to armor up. I think you just Cruel Taskmaster this Alexstrasza and just get it in there. Let's go. I mean, this is 2 turns. Your opponent's got to kill you next turn, and right now they don't have the damage to do it through Sludge Belcher.
Let's see how much damage would he actually have? If he doesn't kill a Savannah, he actually could die. Okay.
Yeah, he could die, but I think it's a risk that he should have taken at this point. Yeah. Because now, how does he actually kill his opponent now?
Whoa, is he actually going to Baron Geddon?
I don't think
Prey doesn't show up.
No. Baron Geddon after.
Oh yeah, that's I was like, what? Yeah.
Gosh, I got to think that Xixo may have missed an opportunity here to just to race his opponent and hope the damage wasn't drawn. This Ragnaros shot still really important. Takes out a 2-2.
About as good as he could have hoped for, I think, if he's trying to stabilize. And another pretty dead draw. Let's see what he gets. Is it going to be King Crush? Nope.
Direwolf Alpha is still a pretty good one, though.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, his minion position is going to prevent him from killing the Sludge Belcher this turn, I think, though.
Oh, wow.
Because of the way that the summons work out.
Yeah, the spiders. Because of the spiders, yeah. Yeah. Oh no, he can kill it. He can still kill it. Yeah, because it's gonna be 1/2 token, so the hyena can finish it off.
Never mind. But gosh, still a lot of pressure. He's down to 4.
Shield
8, 9,
block.
10, 11, 12, plus 8. Oh my gosh, he's 1 damage off lethal too with the Baron Geddon.
Wow.
He's going to go for it anyway, though. I don't blame him here. I mean, this is the time to go for it. And now it's do or die for Backspace. Wow, Xixo still recovering this game, despite the fact that I still would have favored the damage here, but he's going to roll the dice. Baron Geddon's going to clear out everything on the board except for Ragnaros and Baron Geddon. Backspace gets Haunted Creeper off the web spinner. A Mad Scientist gets drawn. That's not going to be enough. And that's actually going to be game. He can't put his opponent in range to die to his own Baron Geddon. And Xixo choose how to allocate your attacks and what they mean. And, you know, the experience here for Xixo telling him he should be playing defensively still.
Yeah. It's hard to know, though, because, I mean, the thing is, 2 turns in a row, the draw was web spinner, right? Like, you know, just about the worst draw you could get, you know, on a 10-mana turn. You have to wonder how the game would have looked were it some different draws. So, you know, it definitely worked out from there, but at the same time, you know, I think there's a lot to be said for what you were talking about as well. I mean, it's definitely not an obvious play, and I don't think it's always the best play either.
Job's done.
Well, Fiery War Axe is going to be definitely very nice here to answer.
Yeah, I mean, this is a little bit, you know, I like developing the Ruby Egg here, but I like getting out the Noitron too.
Yeah, I think both are completely reasonable, and it's kind of tough actually just hitting into this. It does have Whirlwind Execute available for the egg if that's, you know, ends up coming down, and just going to start to pump on the pressure a little bit. He definitely wants to keep that armor shredded as much as possible. And he wants to certainly force him in. We may just see, you know, could just be like a shield block this turn and set up next turn for, you know, for the Acolyte Whirlwind. Could also just kind of knock off the shield here if he doesn't want to do that, but I'm not sure. Okay, so he's just going to Whirlwind right now. Okay.
Yeah, this is going to be Execute for sure, though.
Whirlwind Execute then, yeah.
Yep. It's unfortunate he's not able to pick up the draws here, but, you know, he's got to stem the damage while he can.
Yeah.
If he waits too long, Knife Juggler's just going to have gotten so much value that it's going to negate the fact that you actually have these extra cards in your hand. So I like the fact that he's expending everything early and just trying to get the ball rolling.
Yeah, certainly.
And this refuel turn here from Backspace is a pretty unexciting one, a 0-2 and a 1-3. This is just going to be Acolyte from Xixo.
You know, definitely has a very strong Doomguard turn. Yep. So let's see what it's drawn. Yeah, so it's, oh, wow. Okay, so he wants to actually...
Picks up Ironbeak Owl. Wow, that is like a perfect draw right now to help prevent these extra draws you were going to get. This game was about to really snowball out of control if this Acolyte was able to pick up more than one card here.
Do you feel like that was... I'm actually kind of pretty surprised. I mean, it works out, yeah, that he gets the Owl, but, I mean, when you have the chance to just discard an Abusive Sergeant to play a Doomguard...
I think he's got to get the card draws out of the way. You know, this is another spot I think actually Backspace made a slight error here. I think this Nerubian Egg should have gotten buffed and put into this Acolyte. And then he puts the Voidwalker in the Acolyte as well. So that way this Nerubian Egg is sitting at 1 health. And while the Nerubian Egg is at 1 health...
At Death Rattle.
Right, any Whirlwind effect, you know, if your opponent gets another 1 power minion out and you draw another buff, that's gonna help take it down. That's a very small thing to have overlooked, but here it's going to be really costly. Like, this Deathbite's going to sweep this board out now, and that Nerubian Egg is going to continue to sit there with 1 health. That is a mistake that, again, is very, very small, but may end up costing him this game because Xixo's up to 21 now. He just got Shield Maiden developed. Backspace has Doomguard, but he's going to have to pitch this Harvest Golem to it.
So he is going to trade. He's going to try to maintain. Yep. But unfortunately, you know, it's an easy shield slam.
Yep. I mean, if he had that extra 4/4 out, this would have been a very different game right now.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, that would have been a turn. You know, he'd be at much lower armor. Wow. Okay. So we can just play the big game hunter, I guess.
Yep. There's no targets for really big outside of when you see Lotheb, you're not going to expect Sea Giant in this deck. Sort of the split in a lot of these new decks is whether people want to run Lotheb or whether they want to run Sea Giant. So once he's seen the Lotheb, Sea Giant's not in his mind anymore. He's free to play big game hunter. It's just a 4/2.
Yep, and he is going to be able to actually trade in and get the 4/4 now if he wants, but it's kind of not the best because the thing is, if he does trade it into that, then he's actually just putting the big game hunter a 4/1 minion, and he can just trade a 4/1 into the 4/4 right after it. So it ends up being a 1-for-1 trade anyway. It doesn't
if he taunted the leper gnome, from his perspective, it looks like this is going to be protected, but Xixo's got Whirlwind right behind this.
Yeah.
Whirlwind's going
to. But at the same time, if you Whirlwind, he would be killing his own. You can't do that.
You're right. He would be killing his own minion because he put it into the big game hunter. You're right.
Yep. So he's going to have to trade that in first, and it will mean that he's going to stay alive. He's going to be able to pick up some armor, pick up some cards. Let's see what it's going to be. This is pretty key. Oh, wow.
Wow, that's definitely a good one right now.
Not bad at all.
Alex Straza is also a pretty good one. That Alex Straza is for sure going to be pointing at face. Yeah.
Yep. Alrighty, so yeah.
Yep. This might have been the recovery position. 2 death rattles on this Undertaker though, so pretty decent recovery. I don't know if this is going to go for face or go for this Acolyte. I mean, he's got to get damage rolling, but gosh, you don't want your opponent to pick up more cards either.
And I mean, the thing is, he has so much armor. And okay, so it's just going to be a Grommash coming down and trading in.
Yeah, if you draw Grommash, that's a very different story because now this Grommash is going to be threatening a huge amount of damage onto Backspace. Gets a Soulfire from this, so Soulfire is actually going to take out this Grommash. Wow, I got to believe that Xixo is never accounting for that. I haven't seen that card in a long time since GVG came out.
Oh, man.
The increase to 1 has really changed things there. Second big game hunter.
Do you think that was a mistake? I mean, he actually he played his Harvest Golem in and then tapped right away. I mean, do you think it would have been better because he hadn't actually seen his draw yet before he attacked? So if he had the Direwolf, he could have actually just traded in his 1/1 instead.
Well, the Haunted Creeper got put into the Armor Smith.
Oh,
so
yeah,
he put in the Armor Smith first, so that way
so it wouldn't have mattered. Yeah.
Second Soulfire gets picked up, so Alex Straza is going to fall now.
Oh,
and
wow.
a Doomguard gets picked up as well, and now there's a bunch of pressure back on Xixo to get this game cleared. He's got Sylvanas, but I think Backspace has drawn the perfect sequence of cards to put himself back into this game. Sylvanas is going to come down, but Backspace is at 13. He's a comfortable life total. Xixo's got a comfortable life total as well, but you got to be worried about man. You have to be worried about this recovery pressure.
Yeah, you certainly do. And I mean, the fact that he's actually running these Soulfires and they're working out so well, I mean, you have to talk about the fact that he basically hasn't had to have any discards. He's sitting in a position where he gets both his Soulfires without discarding, and then also, he's trading. Oh man, let's see what he gets.
Hope that it picks up the wrong one.
It does.
I gotta believe he's taunting up the non-Doomguard minions here.
Oh, I think he just taunted up the Doomguard. Okay, never mind. No, he placed it. Looked like it was coming out. But yeah, so Black Knight is available.
Baron Geddon gets
really nice.
That's gotta be the right one. And Baron Geddon's gonna sweep out this Doomguard. Wow, Doomguard would have died no matter what if he taunted it up, because the spider can still run into that. But still some damage he's facing down here. But Backspace has got to clear this Baron Geddon, and he's down to 4 HP.
He needs this juggle, man.
Yeah, he really does. I mean, he has to get this juggle right on point, or he's going to have to lose his Defender of Argus. He needs every single minion he can get. He's down to 4. The juggle goes to the face, so he's going to be forced to trade his Defender of Argus. I gotta believe this Black Knight is just coming down as a 4/5 at this point. And I mean, this is
Yeti.
Yeah, this is threatening lethal right now.
Yeah, he's sitting at 4 HP, and he's gonna need to pull something out. Let's see what he's got.
Ruby and Egg. I think Defender of Argus is basically his only out. It's not going to be enough. And Xixo is going to tie this series up at 2 games apiece now. Wow, Warriors looking strong.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, he's still alive. He can clear this out.
Yeah, but he's only drawing 1 card a turn after this. He's got to do 22 points of damage.
Yeah, of course. I agree.
Xixo picks up 2 Cruel Taskmasters.
Okay, let's see. Spectral Spider.
1/2, just what the doctor ordered.
Yeah, and I mean you can't even play your Flame Imp. It's pretty
Oh, there's a
brutal.
Sludge Butcher. I gotta believe both these Cruel Taskmasters are coming out this turn as well. Damage on the Sludge Butcher. Wow, he's gonna armor up instead. I mean, this is still more than enough on the board right now. Xixo's got to deal with this one. I'm sorry, Backspace's got to deal with this one. He can't do it on this draw. It doesn't matter what it is. And we're at a tied series, boys. Backspace took a 2-0 lead and sheep in this Warrior build. I gotta believe he's at a disadvantage just from the get-go.
Yeah, certainly. I wonder if he's going to be playing like Iron Juggernaut or anything like that. I mean, we saw that. We've seen that some in tournaments, and in these Warrior versus Warrior games, it can be pretty important because so many of the games do go to fatigue, go to very very ends of the deck. So it's a super high chance of drawing that Iron Juggernaut mine.
For sure. Both players have Fiery War Axe. Both players have early threats. Xixo has got Harrison Jones. Backspace has got Sylvanas. This game is looking like it's going to be an armor up fest.
Certainly is, man. I think most of them pretty much are, though.
I'm waiting for the one where the guys like turn 1 Warbot, turn 2 Cruel Taskmaster it.
Yeah. I don't think I've seen Warbot played one time.
I played Warbot once.
Yeah, how'd it go for you?
Once.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Went that well, huh?
I don't think it's that bad of a card. I actually think it's decent. I just don't think that Warrior really has the support for aggro right now, especially considering its hero power is 2 armor.
Certainly.
I'd like to see some alternative hero powers. Like I'd like to see a Warrior hero power that's like 1 damage to like a friendly minion plus 1 attack.
So you have to do both?
Yeah, like you have to deal 1 damage to a friendly minion and it gets plus 1 attack. Like that.
Okay.
That would be your other hero.
Oh, I thought you were saying it was like 1 attack to an enemy, 1 attack to your ally.
No, 1 damage and one attack. Yeah, I think alternate hero powers are something that is eventually going to get explored in this game. But right now, I think the card pool is more important.
Oh, interesting that he's not going to Harrison here. This is something that we've seen. Every time we've seen it, it really hasn't worked. People hold Harrison and they try to get really big value Harrison, and so far, I mean, it just doesn't really work from what we've seen.
Yeah, it's definitely a rough one. I don't mind it so much here because his hand is it's so gas right now. So like this Sylvanas doesn't really matter what it steals. He's got Fiery War Axe for it. So answering Sylvanas straight away, it's something that's really tough to do outside of a silence. And he's managed to do it here with just some weak minions and a weapon. So, hanging on to Harrison here, just not the worst of options.
No, certainly isn't. And we'll see. I'm thinking it's just going to be... I mean, I kind of just like Shield Maiden here.
Yeah, I mean, you're forcing out a Shield Slam a lot of times, I think.
Yeah, which isn't bad.
Yeah, I don't think so either. You're building... The more removal spells you get out of your opponent's hand, the more open you're going to be to scale into your late game.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it is an easy answer, and he has it, yes. But at the same time, you did get that armor on yourself, and I mean, it's one less thing that he's going to have for for your Ragnaroses, for your Alexstrasas, for your Gromashas, and things like that. So that's really what's important there.
Developing the weapon early here, I'm a little bit surprised he chose to go with Fiery War Axe over Dustbite. But I got to believe that this Fiery War Axe is meant to try to bait a Harrison Jones.
Yeah, certainly could be. So Sludge Belcher comes down, armor up again. You think we see it? I don't know. Okay, Dr. Boom is definitely...
Dr. Boom. Whoa!
What?
Do you remember the tutorial at the beginning?
Oh, wow.
When they play the Mukla's big brother or whatever? And it's like a 10-10 for 6 mana. It's so strong! And it just sits over to the side. That's like what this Dr. Boom is doing right now.
Oh, he's gonna whoa him in. This could be key. Let's see where these bombs do land. Certainly wants him to hit his Acolyte. One is gonna hit the Acolyte. I didn't see for how much. I didn't even see where the other one went. Okay, both. Okay, it actually looked like both were aiming for the Acolyte. That would have been insane. But
the trajectory was right on.
Yeah, pretty ideal, man. Pretty ideal. He does. That actually worked out so well. He was able to answer that very easily. So he's going to spend the execute.
Yep, he's going to have to execute his opponent's Sludge Belcher, which is just not a position you want to be in, but you got to start picking up value where it's available. And like you said, this Harrison Jones, man, it's sitting in hand. He'd really like to see another weapon, but I don't think he's going to see it too soon right now. I got to believe this is an Alex Straza turn.
Yeah, I think so too.
I mean, if you're not Alex Strazaing right here, it's like, why is it even in your deck?
Yeah, I agree. But Bomb Lobber Taskmaster isn't too bad either. I mean, there is options. I mean, you could Bomb Lobber Taskmaster and weapon up and clear out like that. But it is going to be the Alex Straza and get that 15 points of damage in. Not too bad. Going to be
Not too shabby for a 9-mana 8/8.
Valuable. Yeah. I mean, even if it's cleared up, it doesn't even matter. It just did 15 damage.
Yeah.
And right now, I mean, there's not an easy way to clear it up. Do you really want to pay the life total? I don't think you do. You know, put yourself down to 14 HP, lose all your armor, but he has no activator for his execute, really. It's pretty rough.
Well, he could replace a Death Spite.
Certainly could, yeah.
You could just, I mean, you're using a lot to this. You're using the, you know, you could attack for your opponent for 3. You could play Death Spite and then play another Death Spite.
I don't think you want to do that, though. That's like, I don't know, man.
Life, yeah.
Yeah.
I think sitting behind a Sludge Belcher, you're going to be able to armor up for a few turns. I think you just feel safe using the life total here. You know, I don't think you're thrilled about it, but I think that it's worth way more to do that than it is to expend your Death Spite charges.
I completely agree. And that would expose yourself. You're spending one Death Spite, the other Death Spite, and then your second Death Spite could get Harrison, because you wouldn't even be able to attack with it after. I mean, that would be losing 3 weapons in one turn. Which would just be
not where you want to be.
No.
You know, this is a really interesting spot because he doesn't want to open himself to Harrison.
Yeah.
But he doesn't want to use the Cruel Taskmaster because he's got the Grommash in his hand. So it's going to be kind of curious to see how he moves forward. I mean, I think he is going to use the Cruel Taskmaster here, but I don't think he's happy about it.
Could, but you can also just Fire Warx if you wanted, and I mean, and just try to clear that token up next turn. But he is just going to decide to use it all. And now, do you think because he's held on to Harrison this long, do you think he still holds on to the Harrison after this?
I think he's got to get something going.
Yeah, and I mean, see, and it's like in that case, then it would have just been plain better to use the Harrison earlier. I mean, he would have got the same value off it. He would have been able to play it out earlier, get that card draw earlier. It could have, improved some of his later turns.
It's tough to say one way or the other, really. I mean, I favor the Harrison right away. Like, I think if you get value off of it, you should be getting value off of it. But, Backspace is also a player who's known to play Gorehowl a lot. That knowledge that knowledge can be very easily being applied in this matchup.
Certainly. It's pretty crazy when you think about how much damage Alex Shaw has actually dealt, because not only did it deal the 15 from the battle cry, it dealt an additional 8 when he attacked it. So, I mean...
23 damage from one card.
23 damage.
Yeah, it's an alright deal.
In the span of one turn. It's like hitting your opponent 3 times in the face with Ragnaros.
Did you remember the old the Alex Straza charge turns?
Yeah.
23 in one turn. Just why not, right?
Yeah. That was brutal.
They're like, play Gorehowl, and you're like, well, I'm dead. He's just gonna charge an Alex Straza.
Yep. Times were tough back then, man. Times were definitely tough. There's been some pretty insane things that have come and gone. It's like some of them I kind of forget about, but I'm not sure if I'm just like repressing painful memories or what. like some of the stuff I'm just like, oh man, like it's better to not remember.
The good old 1-mana Shiv days, man.
Oh god. Yeah.
Adrenaline rush.
Yeah, there's some pretty insane stuff, man.
2 big game hunters in Xixo's hand, but no action to follow it otherwise. He's actually going to have to Grommash here and just hope for the best. He's just run so out of gas this point. It looks to me like that's actually lethal too.
Lethal, yeah. Yeah, with the death rattle from
Yep. That's going to end up doing it. Backspace is going to take this match 3 games to 2. Didn't see an explosive sheep, so right now I'm gonna